What the hell is even that?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Magnum Martell, and welcome back to another beautiful video here on my channel, where I once again have to talk about video games and the people that are trying to ruin them for everyone. So what's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning? Well, first I go to the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, and tell myself I'm a piece of shit who sucks. Obviously, I'm kidding about the last part, but then, after I get my morning beverage, I sit down and I look at social media, because I have a problem, and I need to stop with that problem. But what do I see when I first wake up this morning? Sometimes it's a good thing and a bad thing that I check social media so early. Because the first thing I see is the subject of this video. I see a bunch of people in the space, commentators, anti-social justice warriors, people like myself who are just trying to stop video games from being destroyed and ruined by a bunch of assholes, basically responding to a thread of tweets by Sam Maggs. Remember Sam Maggs, the feminist activist who claimed that she was sexually assaulted in Grand Theft Auto Online? I did an entire video about it. I'll just leave a link down in the pinned comment for you, because honestly I'd rather not re-explain it, considering I just did this like 2 weeks ago, talking about her leaving Knights of the Old Republic. Well, it appears that Sam didn't only ruin Knights of the Old Republic, because my Twitter was blown up this morning. My entire feed was covered with her. She went on a massive tirade talking about the development where she was the lead writer of the Ratchet & Clank game that came out a year ago for PS5. If you don't remember correctly, I did an entire video talking about how some of the developers were butthurt and that Rivet had tits. Yeah. Her entire thread, the entire tweet, the reason for all of it was because she didn't get credit as the person who was upset about it, and this Dave guy who left Insomniac did. So, you know, in typical social justice activist fashion, she's mad that she's not the one who was credited as the victim. And in a desperate attempt to get more victim points, she has now tweeted a massive thread talking about the development of Ratchet & Clank: A Rift Apart. And all I gotta say, to start off with, is suddenly it makes sense. Suddenly the writing in that game makes perfect sense to me. I knew something was wrong. I just couldn't quite tell exactly what, and now I know. Now I know what was wrong the entire time. This stupid bitch was the lead writer, but we're going to take a look at this thread a little bit, starting off with the one that I saw first, and the one that everybody's talking about. And just for the record, I'm incredibly angry right now that I have to revisit a topic that I thought we were done with a year ago. It's a good thing all these people left Insomniac. In fact, them leaving and the rest of the development team going and doing what they wanted to do to begin with is probably the best thing that could have happened. Not gonna lie to you, because ultimately A Rift Apart was not a bad game, actually. Yeah, there was definitely still some wokeness in there, and it's pretty obvious where Sam's influence was, but at least it turned out okay because she wasn't there to make it worse. So we begin our journey of insanity here, starting with this tweet. Let's not even mention the fights I had to get into and the emails I had to send explaining why we should take the boobs and makeup off of Rivet. Okay, well, let's just say it's really a good thing that they didn't do much to the design, because the titties remained. So basically, Sam Maggs was the lead writer for the game, and she was the one who named the character Rivet, although I don't think she came up with it. I'm absolutely certain somebody else did, and she's just trying to take credit. But at any rate, she was the one to get angry about Rivet having boobs and wearing makeup. Because, of course, she's going to echo the exact same argument that the Dave guy did in my last video. That being, why would a female alien mouse dog have secondary female sex characteristics? Are Lombax mammals? Do they breastfeed? Technically, yes. Actually, in every conceivable way. I literally made all of these points in my video talking about the last dumbass that was mad about the Lombax Tiddies, but let's continue. So she included this tweet about the design of that female mouse thing from the Spyro games, from the Reignited trilogy, saying that they can't let this happen to Rivet because it's sexism. Now for my favorite one of the entire batch. Are you ready? At one point, my CD yelled at me in front of the whole office because I kept saying Lombax Tiddies very loudly in the office whenever anyone would bring up Rivet's design, and it made people uncomfortable. Gee, Sam, I wonder why some woman, some angry man-hating feminist screaming, "Lombax Tiddies!" would make people uncomfortable when they're talking about what she should look like. You know what made me uncomfortable? The Lombax Tiddies. Anyways, thanks in part to, obviously, 2 other social justice asshats, Rivet got jacked as hell and we yeeted the titty. Because, as always, these people don't care if anyone else is offended or if anyone else is uncomfortable. They only care about themselves. So thank you, Sam Mags, for participating in the further erasure of women in video games by removing female characteristics from a female character, while you yourself go on and on about how representation is important and we need more strong women. And by the way, have you seen her design in the game? No, of course not. You didn't play it because you didn't care. You were only there to ruin it. But you didn't get rid of the titty. They just deflated them massively to shut you the fuck up. I said it in my last video on this subject, and I'll say it again. I am proud of the team over at Insomniac. I am proud of them, especially the people in charge above Sam and this Dave character, who had the balls to stand up to them. I'm proud of you guys. I really am. You did the right thing by standing up to these people. These social justice activists do not care about gaming. They don't care about women. They care about victimhood and themselves. That's all they care about. And every time you give them their way, they win. Every time you give them their way, every time you give them a job, they win. With that, I have to pose the question, why did you hire her to begin with knowing who she was? And with that, I also have to pose the question, how do these people keep getting jobs in the gaming industry? Now, I made this joke in a previous video, but let's just play the clip again, because the longer this goes on, the more I think I'm right. Okay, conspiracy theory time, to make me sound like a nutcase. Put on your tinfoil hats, everybody. Big Daddy Magnum is absolutely certain that all of these feminists and social justice activists, your Anita Sarkeesians, your Zoe Quinns, your Carlos Maza, your Neil Druckmanns, your Sam Mag, your Assassin's Creed Sisterhood people, the entirety of leftist Twitch and Twitter, all of the e-thoughts, etc., etc. I'm just going to throw out pictures at this point. It includes all of these social justice streamers. It includes all of these games journalists. It includes all of these activist assholes that have no place in the gaming space. One big secret society that is just basically an orgy club with a name tag that has their name and their fucking pronouns. And what these people do is they get together, they have some snacks, and then they talk about who's going to go on to what project and fucking destroy it. Absolutely wreck it and ruin it while actively shitting on the fans, and they use their media influence to continue doing so. Then, they all have one nice big fuck session before they all leave without pants, buttholes filled with semen after exchanging underwear. Enjoy that image that I've just placed directly into your noggin. It's been haunting my dreams for weeks. I said that literally in my video about Sam Mags leaving KOTOR, actually being fired from KOTOR. I'm proud of the team at Insomniac for standing up to these people. I have another video coming out this week about these people and their infestation of the industry. But when it comes down to it, the only thing that we can do is continue to fight back. Because every time we beat them, every time they get kicked out of a project, every time they leave a project because they're not getting their way, we win. Every time they get a job on the project, they win. We need to stop their influence dead in its tracks, because as I said in that last video, what it comes down to is that what they'll do is they'll enter a project, they'll start whispering in people's ear, they'll get people like this Dave feller who to take their side, and then once their influence has specifically taken hold and the people working on the project are afraid to do what they originally envisioned, they leave. They leave and act like they were driven out by sexism and racism and homophobia and blah, 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 blah. And then they move on to the next project that they've been sanctioned at the Orgy Club to go ruin. And it continues that way over and over and over until we get rid of them. And eventually we will. And I'll say one final point that I made in my last video on the subject about Rift Apart. Rivet is not the first or the only female Lombax we have seen in this franchise. You can ignore the existence of Angela as much as you want. When it comes down to it, she is still the first. And guess what? She had titties too. Hopefully in the next game, they make Rivet a year or two older and they inflate her titties a little bit more just to make Sam Mags angry. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. My name is Magnum Martel. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. Do all the things the algorithm likes. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought about Ratchet & Clank: A Rift Apart and Sam Mags' butthurtness that she didn't get credit as the one who was angry about the Lombax Tiddies. I'm just going to go ahead and cue the montage that I did last time, and I'll see you in the next video.